In today's fast-paced world, ensuring the well-being of our little ones has never been more crucial. Join us on this empowering journey as we delve into vital topics that every parent, every caregiver, and community member needs to know. We'll be addressing various facets of children's health throughout this episode, like with the Children's Safety Village of Central Florida. Now, they're here to help you identify potential hazards and implement measures to protect your children from accidents and injuries. Drowning prevention is a crucial aspect of child safety that demands our attention, especially here in Florida. We'll explore the most effective strategies to keep our children safe around water. From practical swimming techniques to essential water safety measures, we'll equip you with the knowledge and skills to create a secure environment for your little ones. We'll also learn the ABCs of Sleep Baby Safely with Dr. Robert Karch. Hello and welcome to Healthy Connections. I'm Annetta Wilson, your host. Healthy Connections is a show dedicated to exploring a wide variety of topics, from prenatal care to Alzheimer's disease. And we do so with a wide variety of perspectives, from the professionals that help treat the syndromes to everyday people like you and me who may have personal experience dealing with these topics on a first-hand basis. Stay tuned for Healthy Connections. The Children's Safety Village of Central Florida is a nonprofit organization that caters to preventing children's injuries and fatalities. And they do it through life-saving education and firsthand experience. To explain more is Safety Village Executive Director Brent Moore. Thanks for being with us.
You're welcome.
What do you do there?
Our primary focus is child safety education. And we have field trip groups that come in from all over Central Florida, and we teach them things like dangerous person awareness, 911 for kids, internet safety, gun safety, water safety. We have a 2-story fire safety house where we teach them fire safety, how to stop, drop, and roll. We have a smoke machine in there that it simulates what would happen if you were in your house and there was a fire, and then smoke rolls across the top, and it's harmless. And then the children practice crawling on the ground. We have a water heater in the door that they're using in that bedroom. And when they put the back of their hand to it, it feels warm. So what happens when you, in your house, if there's a fire outside your door, you don't open the door. So that's an interactive part of some of the programs that we offer there. We have about an 8.5-acre site located right next to the Central Florida Fairgrounds. And for the last 28 years, we've had over 110,000 children from all over Central Florida to come to our facility.
My goodness. How young do you start them with safety classes?
Usually at about 4.5 years old.
What can you teach a 4-year-old?
You could teach a 4-year-old how to dial 911.
Okay.
You'd be amazed that they know how to dial 911. You can teach them about dangerous person awareness. You can teach them about gun safety, because unfortunately, children are curious. So you want to start them young to teach them those things that would keep them safe.
There's a huge public safety campaign now about storing guns in homes. Is that an area where, unfortunately, you've had some sad news and had to create that program, or has it always been a part of it?
It's always been a program that we've offered because, you know, this facility was started way back when with the sheriff's office. I think Lawson Lamar was the sheriff at the time. So we're going back a long ways. So he was the sheriff at the time. I was reading an article, FBI article, about some of those dangers that children experience, and one of those programs that they felt was necessary was gun safety. So we have somebody from the sheriff's office come out and they teach gun safety to the groups that want it. They have a total of 9 programs that they can choose from. And if they select gun safety, then we'll have somebody who's certified and knows about guns to come out and teach them about gun safety.
So what have been some of the comments you've gotten from parents whose kids have been through the program?
Some of the parents love it, especially when we have officers from maybe like OPD that come out and teach about internet safety. And it's a lot of the mothers, sometimes the fathers too, but they really admire the officers that we have come out there, especially if we have female officers that come out and teach that. and they just say this is great and fantastic that their child got an opportunity to learn this from someone who is on the front line.
What do you teach in internet safety? Can you just kind of give us the basics?
Well, we teach what they should and shouldn't do when they're on the internet. First and foremost, parents should be watching and knowing what internet sites their children go to, not to give out your personal information. Can you tell them that your favorite color is blue? Yeah, you can. But can you tell them how many siblings you have in your house? No. Should you tell them where you live? No, never. So they go through this process, and depending on the age, because we start at around 4 and go up to 12, 13 years old, and things that they shouldn't be teaching or telling somebody on the internet, especially if they don't know them, because not everyone is your friend.
That's amazing. And a few years ago, that wasn't even a thing you had to focus on.
Right.
So for parents who are hearing about the Children's Safety Village for the first time, how would they get involved with you? Do they have to go through the schools? Or?
A lot of times it's schools that come out. So schools will schedule a field trip to come out to our facility. Summer camps will schedule a field trip to come out to our facility. Nowadays, homeschool groups. There's some big cohorts with homeschool groups, and they'll come out and they'll schedule a field trip. We ask for a minimum of 10, because when we have these first responders that come out to teach these, we want to make sure that we have an adequate number of people who are participating. If it's an individual family, they maybe have 2 or 3 children, then we tell them, give us a call. We'll let you know what days we have field trips, what the field trips are, and then you can decide if that's something for your children. And
So,
we've had them come from all over. We've had some come from Hillsborough County. A lady came from Hillsborough County a few years ago. She used to live in Orlando. She came to the Safety Village as a child. When she grew up and had her own family, she wanted her son to know about the Safety Village. They came over from Hillsborough County
what
to
a
participate
testimony
in
to
programs.
your work.
Yeah.
So you work collaboratively with Orange County Public Schools, the
Yes.
the police department.
Yep, Orange County Sheriff's Office, Orange County Fire Rescue.
So if somebody were wondering, is this legitimate or just
Right.
someone who had a big heart? No, it is connected to.
Right, yep. Orlando Police Department, Orlando Fire Department, DCF, Orange County Corrections, they're all partners of ours.
Okay.
And whenever we have field trips, then we'll reach out to them and see if they have an instructor to teach those classes for us. Because they'll come in uniform, of course, and they'll come bringing the kids some good stuff to hand out to them. But, we do that because they experience all this stuff on a daily basis.
Yeah.
So we want to go to those, frontline staff that do this, and we get them to come out. It's usually about 30 to 45 minutes per class. They get 2 classes, so about an hour and a half. And we have a pavilion out there that they can bring their lunch and eat lunch. We have a playground that was donated by Kaboom, so the kids can go out and play a little
Wow.
bit too.
So what's ahead for the future?
What's ahead for the future is not only do we do these safety education classes, but we also have an indoor heated swimming pool that we teach water safety and swim lessons. We start those at 6 months old.
Wow.
And we teach the children ISR, which is Infant Swimming Resources, on how to float on their back if they were to fall in the pool. Because there are so many bodies of water
Yes.
here in the state of Florida. It's incredible. And we actually have more pools and homes than any other state in the union.
That makes sense.
So there are a lot of issues with drowning prevention. Unfortunately, a lot of children are curious about water, and
Even at home, in the
even at home.
bathtub.
Yeah, bathtub, toilet. We teach kids when we do our water safety classes, close the lid on your toilet, especially if you have a younger brother or sister, because their head is the most weighty thing on their body, and they could just fall into the toilet
And not get
drown
out.
and not get out.
Wow. Amazing work you're doing.
Thank you.
In conjunction with law enforcement and healthcare organizations?
Healthcare organizations, right. We partner with Advent Health and Orlando Health, and they've been partners of ours for a very long time. We actually have a mini village out there as well, with child-sized buildings, child-sized sidewalks, the whole 9.
Sounds like a great place for a birthday party.
Yes, yes, and that's where the pavilion comes in and the playground. So we do have rentals that use our facilities here. But Advent Health has a building out there that they've decorated. Their volunteers have come out and decorated it. So when you come out to the Safety Village, you'll see a McDonald's. you'll see a Advent Health, you'll see a sheriff's office, you'll see a fire department. All those buildings are out there on our campus.
And this is so important, especially with school being out, but even during the school year with field trips and all of that, it's wonderful to know that kind of facility is available for something that is so preventable, which is
Yes.
keeping your child safe.
Yep, and we have a working traffic light. You can't practice crossing the street anywhere else but here, because you press that button and the countdown starts, and the children, they practice crossing the street. You can't do it at the intersection of,
No.
of 50 and John Young. You can't do that. It's live, but
Right.
there at the Safety Village you can practice. And that's what we do when we do our Walk, Ride, Thrive program, which is a county initiative, and we partner with them on doing that. So they get to come out there, they get to learn something that they didn't know, and they get to do it in a safe manner, and then they get to go back and apply what they've learned. And for the parents who bring their kids out, we ask the parents, hey, help reinforce what we've done. When they're in the house.
So the education continues
yes.
when they go home.
Yep, it does. So when you're at home or when you're out in the street and you're crossing the street, you make sure you look left, right, and left again. If you teach them that now, by the time they become teenagers, yes, it's a little difficult, but they think they can
They do
outrun
remember.
and stuff. But they do remember, so that's always great.
Well, this was fascinating. Thank you for joining us, and hopefully making some parents and caregivers of children exhale, because you never know what you're supposed to teach. There's just so much, and it's all at the Children's Safety Village. We will be back. Stay with us. Drowning. It's fast, silent, and can happen to anyone. Drowning is the leading cause of unintentional death of children ages 1 to 4 in the state of Florida. Let that sink in. Today we have with us the health officer from the Florida Department of Health in Orange County, Dr. Robert Karch, to discuss what we can do to stop these preventable deaths. Dr. Karch, thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me. It's nice to be here.
This almost feels like a Herculean job. This state is surrounded by water. We've got so many lakes on the interior. What can we do?
Well, as you said, drownings are completely preventable. I became interested in this topic when one of my pediatric colleagues suffered the unfortunate experience of having her own child drown in a
Wow.
swimming pool. And so I became interested in this topic and have researched it. Drownings are a leading cause of death among children of all ages in Florida, and as you said, the leading cause of death among children 1 to 4 years of age. In 2021, 86% of child fatalities occurred among children 4 years of age or under.
So we're talking 8 out of 10. That number is so extraordinarily high. So for someone who's never really had a primer or any kind of hints on what we should do, can you walk us through some basic precautions?
Yeah, well, very few of these childhood drownings actually happen during swim time. So adequate barriers of protection, fences with self-latching gates, undivided attention, and adequate adult supervision. These are the primary contributing factors to childhood drownings. So absolutely, never assume that someone else is watching your children. Undivided attention when they're in or near water. And absolutely have these barriers of protection, fences with self-latching gates, pool alarms, door alarms. These are essential. Knowing CPR, enrolling your child in high-quality swim classes. These are the layers of protection. Adequate barriers of protection, adequate adult supervision, knowing CPR, and high-quality swim classes.
So let's assume you've given your child swimming lessons. Is that some kind of false sense of safety? Well, my child knows how to swim. My child knows what to do if they fall into the pool.
I do think that a common thought when we do these child death reviews, something that we see in the transcripts, is that it couldn't happen to me. My child, we have them in swim classes, they know how to swim. This could never happen to me. But as I said, most drownings occur during non-swim time, when the child wasn't expected to be in or near the water. So barriers of protection, fences around pools, self-latching gates, also awareness that your community pool may be fenced, but the retention pond behind your home is unfenced, and we do unfortunately see quite a lot of child drownings in retention ponds, storm ponds.
That actually happened in my own neighborhood a couple of years ago, and it was such a tragedy. In the evening, family outside, child just wandered away, and unfortunately they found him in a retention pond.
And you mentioned wandering. Children do this, and I want to make special note of children with autism. Children on the autistic spectrum tend to wander, and they seem to be attracted to water. In fact, children with autism in one study drown at a rate of 160 times greater than neurotypical children. So if your child has autism, making sure especially that you have door alarms, fences, self-latching gates is really important.
For someone who has just become a new parent, and this is the first time they've heard about this, if you had to give them the basics.
Drowning can happen to anybody. So take precaution. Teach your children how to swim early. Okay.
How early is too early?
The American Academy of Pediatrics recommends drowning swim lessons as early as 1 year of age, but many swim schools start as early as 6 months of age. So drowning prevention by early swim instruction is important. Number 2, have a fence with a self-latching gate
You've
around
said that,
the pool.
self-latching.
A self-latching
Which means
gate.
the minute you close it, it locks
Which
behind
means
you.
it'll close on its own.
Okay.
You could inadvertently walk away and leave it, and it'll close and lock on its own. So a fence with a self-latching gate is really important. And there's an age distribution. Infants less than 1 year of age tend to drown in standing bodies of water, like bathtubs, toilets, inside the home. From 1 to 5, and then from 5 to 9, swimming pools are the most common location of drowning. And then after 9, as children approach adolescence and into the adult years, natural bodies of water. So life vests when boating, out on the lakes, always swim with a partner, a buddy, for older adolescents and adults, and then undivided attention when the children are in or near water, and then absolutely a fence with a self-latching gate around all swimming pools.
Dr. Karch, that is the perfect last word. Thanks for being with us today.
Thanks for having me.
Water safety is everyone's responsibility. Be a water watcher. Install barriers. Make sure you and your children know how to swim and how to perform CPR. For more information, visit watersmartfl.com. Thanks for joining us. The ABCs of sleep baby safely? Well, there are many ways to raise babies, but only one way to lay them down to sleep safely. I didn't know that either. Dr. Robert Karch, health officer from the Florida Department of Health in Orange County, is here with us to make sure every baby celebrates a first birthday. Dr. Karch, thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
That last line, every baby celebrates a first birthday. So I'm taking it this danger window is 0 to 12 months?
Yeah, so infant mortality prevention is what we're trying to do here. And the ABCs of safe sleep are alone, on your back, and in a crib. The ABCs of safe sleep, always infant alone in a sleep surface, on their back, face up, and in a crib.
Okay, let's take each alphabet. Alone. There is a movement, and there has been for some time, where parents like to put their baby in bed with them. You say that's a big no-no.
Co-sleeping is a risk for suffocation, so we do recommend that as soon as feeding session is over, that the infant be placed back in a safe sleep surface, like a crib.
So are we talking like parents accidentally rolling over on the baby, or because there's pillows and blankets and...
So infants should never be in the same sleep surface as another adult or child. Should not be on a soft adult bed or couch or other soft surface, and shouldn't have toys, pillows, blankets around them. So alone, on their back, in a crib. Sleep-related infant death is the most common cause of preventable child death in Florida, and is often the result of unsafe sleep practices. So again, we emphasize for new parents, caregivers, always alone, on their back, in a safe sleep surface.
So let's keep going with alone. We see crib bumpers, we see little toys and blankets people want to put in bed. You say no.
No crib bumpers, no soft pillows, no blankets, alone, on the back, face up, in a safe sleep surface.
Okay. You're going to hear that mantra throughout this interview, on their back. Now, there are so many schools of thoughts that you don't lay the baby on the back. You lay the baby on their side. You don't lay the baby face down. What should we do, and why is on the back the best position?
The American Academy of Pediatrics recommends back to sleep, on the back, face up, to prevent suffocation. So especially young infants, if they're on their stomachs, can't necessarily flip themselves around, and so they're at risk of suffocation. So alone, on the back, and in a safe sleep surface, a crib.
So let's talk about that crib. Safe sleep surface. Mm-hmm. What does that mean?
Firm, not soft, no bumpers, no toys or blankets. Yeah.
What is the biggest misconception you think parents have about putting their child to bed and thinking they're doing the right thing?
Just not being aware of the danger of suffocation. So this is real. Again, it's the most common cause of preventable child death in Florida is sleep-related infant death. So we see this regrettably all the time nationally, and these are ways to prevent these unfortunate incidents.
Any advice for caregivers, babysitters? Hopefully lots of parents are listening, but what about the teenager that comes, grandma, grandpa, well-meaning aunts and uncles?
Making sure that all caregivers are aware of the basics of safe infant sleep, the ABCs, alone, on your back, in a crib. The Florida Department of Health can provide safe sleep surfaces for caregivers who need them. They need only contact the Florida Department of Health here in Orange County at www.orange.floridahealth.gov, and we can assist in providing safe sleep surfaces.
That's amazing. I'm sure most people don't know that that service is available. Right. So the website again?
www.orange.floridahealth.gov.
orange.floridahealth.gov with a www in front of it. So thank you for helping us keep these babies around for a lot longer. Especially because this is so preventable. Yes. It's just knowledge is power. Give us that mantra again.
The ABCs, yes. Alone, on your back, and in a safe crib.
Okay. Every year, a healthy baby in Orange County suffocates while sleeping unsafely. These deaths could have been prevented. For more information, visit sleepbabysafely.com. That's sleepbabysafely.com. safely.com. We've learned that there is an actual place for your child to learn the latest in safety techniques. We've even talked about having your baby sleep more safely. And because this is Florida, there's water everywhere. We want you to be especially careful around the little ones. Why? Because our entire goal here is to make sure you have healthy connections.